Hi, I'm Andy, and welcome to another Watch Crave video. Today, we'll be having a look at the Cronos L6020, a GMT-Master II homage. Now, I bought this watch during one of the sales in November last year, as I kinda want to see what the GMT Master is about. But since I don't have enough spare cash to afford one, a homage will have to do in the meantime. In case you haven't heard of Cronos before, they are a Chinese watch brand that seems to focus on making one-to-one homages. And that's the case with this watch, where they essentially just copy and pasted the original design and replaced the logo. As of this video, Cronos currently offer 5 versions of this watch, all which are very similar to the original designs. For the price, the original piece currently retails for around $10,000 US. On the secondary market, the price is around $16,000 US on average. This Cronos starts at $269 for the normal version and $289 for the fully Lume option. You can purchase these watches from the Cronos official AliExpress store along with other distributors. As a general rule with most AliExpress watches, wait for one of the big sales and you should be able to get it for a bit cheaper. For the packaging, the watch comes in a hardshell EVA case decorated with the brand's logo. Along with the case, we have a very succinct user manual, a warranty card and some tools. I must say I'm somewhat impressed with the packaging for the tools. The spring bar removal tool even has the Cronos logo laser printed on it. Next up, let's have a look at the specs and dimension. The watch has a diameter of 40.5mm, it is 13.3mm thick, the lug width is 20mm, the lug-to-lug distance measures at 48mm, the bracelet has female end links, so it should fit smaller wrist sizes. The watch sports a flat sapphire crystal with a cyclops. There's also a good amount of anti-reflective coating applied on the inner side. The water resistant is rated at 200 meters. With a few links removed to fit my 6.2-inch wrist, the watch weighs in at 134 grams. Finally, the watch is powered by the Seiko NH34 movement. The NH34 is an automatic movement that beats at 3 Hz or 21,600 beats per hour. The movement features a Kohler GMT complication. It also has a date complication and supports hacking and hand winding. It has a power reserve of 41 hours and has an accuracy range of -20 to +40 seconds per day. This particular watch has an accuracy of +8 seconds per day. Not too bad in my opinion. Moving on to the design of the watch. For the case, the design is lifted straight from the original watch with minimal, if any, changes. It's an oyster case that is brushed on top and polished on the sides. The bottom edges are not sharp, but they're not pleasant to touch either. Same deal with the lug tips. It's not a big issue though, as it won't affect your wearing experience. Onto the back of the case, we have a screw-down case back. The case back is sterile and is brush finish. For the crown, we have a screw-down crown that is signed with the Cronos logo. The crown's knurlings do feel a bit sharp and could be rounded off a bit better. On a positive note, the crown's operation is silky smooth, very easy to unlock and lock, and also very pleasant to wind. Probably one of the better crowns I've used so far. Next is the bezel. We have a 24 clicks bi-directional rotating bezel. As this is a GMT watch, the bezel can be rotated in both directions. Unfortunately, it's a bit loose and there's quite a bit of backplay. It's also not the easiest to grip and rotate. The bezel insert is made of ceramic and is painted with the GMT markers. Unlike the original watch bezel insert, the markers aren't engraved, but looks like they've been painted on top. These GMT's markers are filled with BGW9 Lume, as this is the Lume version. The bezel and bezel insert looks to be well aligned. For the bracelet, we have a Jubilee bracelet with female end links. The bottom of the bracelet is brush finish and the sides are polished. As for the top, the 2 outer links are brush finish and the middle 3 links are polished. Overall, the finishing on the bracelet are not bad, but I feel like they could be better. The links are connected by a screw. They feel nice and tight and also articulate quite well. The bracelet also tapers from 20mm to 16mm. The ends of the bracelet are connected to a pressure clasp with a safety latch. The clasp is milled, brush finish on top and sides. It operates quite smoothly. Unfortunately, a couple of end corners feel quite a bit sharp. There's no on-the-fly adjustment or micro adjustment holes, but there is a diver extension. Kinda a stupid choice in my opinion. However, since the links are quite small, there should be no problem getting a good fit. For the dial, we have a flat black dial. I'm not sure if it's enamel or not, but it looks fairly decent. The indices are applied and filled with BGW9 Lume. Below the 12 o'clock, we have an Apply Cronos logo. I'm not a fan of this Apply logo to be honest, since it can be quite hard to see at different angles. Older versions of this watch came with a printed logo, and I reckon they should have kept it that way. Above the 6 o'clock, there's a GMT text printed in red, and automatic and water rating text printed in white. Finally, there's a date window below the Cyclops at the 3 o'clock position. The magnification looks to be 2.5 times. For the hands, we first have the usual Mercedes handset for the hour and minute, along with a lollipop second hand. Since this is a GMT watch, we also have an Arrow GMT hands in red. The hands are also filled with BGW9 Lume. One thing to note is that the white color of the hands don't quite match with the indices. Honestly, this is rather disappointing for an AliExpress watch at this price range. Around the edge of the dial, we have a printed chapter ring with minute markers. The rehold is also not too thick, considering that this is a GMT movement. Onto the lume, this particular watch has both dial and bezel lume. The lume is not too bad, but not amazing either, albeit a bit disappointing for something at this price range. So how does it fit? On my 6.2-inch wrist, it looks rather fitting thanks to the female end links. The Jubilee bracelet is quite comfortable to wear, especially on those days with higher temperatures. So, what do I think about this watch? I'm quite disappointed with quite a few things, to be honest. This watch was released a couple of years ago, and it doesn't look like they've made any improvement to it since then. When compared to the cheaper Pagani designed GMT Homage, despite the big jump in price, there's not a lot of improvements. You do get a better finished case and bracelet, but the somewhat sharp edges are still there. The bracelet is nice and comfortable, but the clasp has a pretty meh diver extension over an on-the-fly adjustment or micro adjustment holes. The watch bezel is also a bit hard to grip and rotate. There's also the different color of the hands and indices. The lume is not bad, but not as good as San Martin's or even Steel Dive's. On a more positive note, I quite like the watch crown. It's one of the better crowns I've used so far. The option of having lume on the bezel insert is also a big plus. Overall, I think the watch is an attractive option for those that want to try the GMT Master but can't afford one. For around $250, you get a pretty decently built watch with a reliable workhorse movement. It may not be the best value in the AliExpress watch world, but it's still way more affordable than the $10,000 price tag of the original watch. And it's probably still the best GMT Master Homage you can buy right now. If Cronos can somehow lower the price to less than $200, or improve on all of the issues mentioned in this video, it would make this watch a very good value proposition. And that brings us to the end of this video. What do you think about this watch? Are you interested in getting your hands on one? If you already got one, what are your thoughts about the watch? Feel free to drop a comment down below and let us know. I hope this video helped you in some way. If you find it enjoyable or helpful, please drop a like and subscribe for future videos. As a growing channel, I really appreciate your support. Until next time.